Welcome to Power Talk Radio, where you can listen and learn from celebrities, icons, and everyday hardworking women. Their stories will empower and motivate you to be the best you can be. Our host, Tonya DeCosimo, is the founder of Power, professional organization of women of excellence recognized, and editor-in-chief of Power magazine. She is also an author, columnist, and has worked successfully for 30 years in the advertising and publishing industry. Welcome to today's program. Here's Tonya.
Welcome to Power Talk Radio, everybody. I'm your host, Tonya DeCosimo, and I have such an empowering guest today. And her name is Lidia Szczepanowski. Ooh, that's a tough one to say. Hello there, beauty.
Hi, sweetheart. So good to be here.
So great to have you. So my question to everyone is, did you ever want to change your career? Maybe dabble in something different? You have a creative idea and you just don't know how to bring it to fruition. Well, Lidia is going to tell us how she did that. Okay, she went from being an attorney to a beauty queen, to a media producer, a host, a keynote speaker. She's a black belt in karate. And now she is a fashionista with her newest endeavor called Sculptura, Sculpt It Your Way, Shapewear Dress. Yes. Did I get that right?
That is correct.
Okay. And Lidia is also the president and founder of National Organization of Women's Safety Awareness.
That is correct.
So you have your hands full. So from being an attorney,
yes,
to deciding to create Sculptura fashions, which is just an amazing dress, and you'll explain that to everyone. But
sure.
Before we get into the dress itself, how do you decide to go from an attorney and then come up with this creative idea to do something else? What makes you make that switch?
Well, let me start by saying thank you so much for having me. And I love what you're doing. You are so empowering to women and all inclusive, and everyone, every background. It's just so wonderful. And I just support you so much. So thank you for having me and giving me the opportunity to share my story and information about my product line and whatnot. So thank you. That's first.
You're welcome.
Second of all, as far as changing careers, I will say this. I still do practice, sometimes a little bit more, sometimes a little bit less.
Okay.
But becoming a fashionista, which I love that you call me that, it was really something that happened over the course of time. It was a concept that kind of developed or morphed, but then I did have my aha moment. So let me very quickly share that. So you had mentioned that I'm a beauty queen. Yeah. So I was actually trying on a gown in a dear friend's boutique, and my friend Eva, she's in Sayville. I was trying on dresses and gowns for one of the pageants I was participating in. And on the bench over there, I saw a pair of these briefs that had silicone pads in them. They look like little cutlets. And I put them on underneath my dress, kind of as a joke, thinking, wow, who the heck would ever wear that? And I walked out, and I have to tell you, my tushy looked really, really good. And I never would have thought that having something like this little accessory could make such a big difference. So I'm an older woman, and not older, but you know what I'm saying. I'm not 20. I'm 55.
Okay.
And I went out, but my bra straps were showing, and I'm like, why can't there just be a dress that has shapewear built into it, that has a built-in bra, and that also has the option of maybe enhancing your booty a little bit? So that was my aha moment. And but it probably went back even further. So when I was 13 years old, I was unfortunately the victim of a sexual assault, which at that time was very difficult. And I spent many years of my teenage years covering myself and not showing my body and hiding it and wearing big clothes. And I didn't want to, back then, feel like I was asking for it, or, I felt that maybe I did or said or looked a certain way. And that was society back then was doing a lot more shaming. Right. So this project this clothing line that I developed probably started way back when I was 13 years old. And I had that horrible experience because it wasn't until fast forward in when I was 41 years old in 2006, excuse me, I participated in the Mrs. New York America pageant, and I had to go up on stage in a swimsuit. And I think that was when everything changed, where I finally felt I am celebrating my body, I'm celebrating myself, everything about me, because, you know, we are very multifaceted, multidimensional, complicated beings. And there's no one thing that defines us. And despite what some people think of a beauty pageant, you know, most people that have participated in one, at least from my experience, they've had a positive experience. And it's not just about who's the prettiest and who has the nicest body and all that. I'm sure there are some like that, but not the ones that I participated in, especially the Mrs. ones. So that said, we celebrate everything about a woman, and that includes her physical being and her physical body and self, but it also focuses on who you are as a human being, your personality, your ability to speak, and it's a job interview. Anyway, so again, so that's my process here. So that's when, so 13, beauty pageant, dressing room, aha moment. And the next thing you know, I went to I took out a piece of paper and a pen. I still have the drawings, my sketches. And by the way, I was actually thinking about being an art major before I went to law school. I really went like up and down, and it was, I was always very creative. I loved art history. I loved drawing. I loved being artistic. I used to paint and do all kinds of stuff. So I guess really, people, like I said, I'm repeating myself, but human beings are multifaceted. And sometimes someone is, you know, participates in a sport, let's say when they're in high school, or they do art, or they do whatever it is, that's still always going to be a part of you. And sometimes you take that ability or that part of you and you know, bring it into your professional world. Sometimes you don't. There are many attorneys I know, physicians, you know, professionals that also draw and paint, and they love that, but that's just not part of their career. So I was fortunate enough after my little aha moment to take out my drawing pad, like I said, piece of paper, and I remember it was so many years ago, because this was a work in progress. I just went online. I started online. So I would say, you know, if anyone has an idea, the internet is the most incredible place. We all know we work on it every single day. And I just started Googling pattern makers and dressmakers, etc. And it takes time, and you have to weed out a lot. But I found a woman in the city, and that's how it started. It was my first pattern and my first dress style. It wasn't, you know, really what I needed at the time. And fast forward several years later, and many, you know, fit models and fabrics and purchasing. It's such a complicated dress, actually, believe it or not, because it's almost like you're having two dresses in one, because it has a full shapewear component to it. And it has the pockets in the bust area where you can put these graduated pads. So you can see they actually give you a lot of lift here. They kind of go into that area if you need them, but you have the choice. So you can sculpt it your way.
Sculpt it your way. The dress is unbelievable. I know right now you have 5 different
styles.
But my question, I just want to go back to, and then we'll get more into the dress.
Sure.
To take that plunge,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you have to be very confident to be able to say, hey, I have this idea and I'm going to run with it. So what advice can you give to women who maybe, you know, they're a little skeptical, there's some fear about, you know, taking that plunge and making a decision where I'm going to start my own business, I'm going to do it?
I think the most important thing that anyone can do is prepare. Be prepared, do your research, have a business plan, know your figures, know your numbers. I was very fortunate that I continued to practice law and have my career while I developed the dress line and the clothing line. So if you don't have that luxury, I would say I wouldn't take the plunge until you know that you have really the framework and the structure of your business.
But you need a cushion, you know, like you said, you were fortunate enough, you were still an attorney, you had an income.
Right. And I had savings, and I was very lucky with that in that regard. But if you need to pay bills, let's be practical here. Let's be realistic.
Yeah.
There are plenty of people that have great ideas and they may not be in a position to be able to, give up their quote unquote day job and change careers right away. Because they have a mortgage to pay, they have children, they have this, they have that. That's not to say you can't do it, but I think that the struggle would be, and the obstacles and the challenges would be even greater for that person who's just giving up, their other career. Again, I was fortunate, but people do lose their jobs and maybe they're looking and they don't have a job. That's also a good time that you're going to.
And a lot of businesses are started, in times where there's unfortunate things going on in the world.
Right.
Because people have time during COVID, people are at home, they're thinking, what can I do next? They're on the internet. So now is kind of a good time to, bring that business idea to fruition.
It is, but I will say this, how ironic is it that it could be the most positive time and a great time for me, for Sculptura. Funny story. I mean, I don't know how funny it is, haha, but funny in that my daughter was in college and I picked her up from New York City on March 18th. And that was the day, I believe, that they shut down all the restaurants and all the colleges. And that was the day that I picked up my last set of dresses from New York City because they're manufactured in New York. So I was trying to launch a product that really is, my demographic are women that are professionals for the most part. That's really who I try to focus on, who are, between 30 and let's say 65, who are typically working. And there COVID happened. So for me, it was not a good thing.
Well, I was going to bring that up.
Yeah.
The thing is this, though, we're on a Zoom right now.
I'm wearing one of the dresses, by the way. This is one of the styles.
The dress.
This is the Venus.
Complete dress. Maybe we'll make you stand up.
Oh, Lord.
You also do have to dress for success.
Yes.
I believe in that. Some people are more comfortable sitting in their pajamas all day, working from home. I still feel like I have to get dressed. I'm still going into the office, and a lot of people are going into the office. So your dress definitely can always come in handy. And you know what? Whether you're just going out for lunch or you're going out to a beautiful restaurant or a wedding, I mean, your dress is incredible, and we're going to send everybody to your website. You could give them all that information. Okay. But you're going to obviously expand your product line.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Just briefly, it started out as a little black dress, and that was the concept. But then we realized that this idea, which, by the way, I actually was granted a utility patent on this idea. So it really transcends the dress. And even though that's the first garment that I've produced, jumpsuits, right? Tops, bottoms, gowns, different styles of dresses, different lengths, different sleeves, different necklines, different colors. So really, as far as the offerings, it's really endless. It could really include anything. And like I said, shapewear is such a hot thing. You have, Sarah Blakely started with Skims. That was kind of like the first idea when she cut her pantyhose off. And then now you have Kim Kardashian with Skims. That's a hot line. And then there's Lidia with Sculptura that has the shapewear built into a great quality dress. Right now, the dress that it's a beautiful, really nice, thick, heavy Ponte di Roma fabric. And the lining is it has some compression. It's like a medium. It's not tight. You don't feel like you're wearing a wetsuit. So it's really just a great quality, great style dress.
I'm a big fan.
Thank you.
I have your dress. I'm a big fan. And the great thing is, like I said, it fits all shapes
and sizes,
and that's what's important.
Can I just supplement by saying, during a fashion show, a woman who is curvy, okay, and she can put this dress on, and this happened to me personally. One of the women put a dress on, and she looked in front of the mirror. She goes, "Oh my God, I love this dress," and she bought it right then and there. Okay. And then you have women that are slight in their physique, who are much thinner and not as curvy. And then you have all these accessories that can make them more curvy.
There you go.
Yeah.
So I just I want to be realistic with people who want to start a new business.
Yes.
There's so much involved in it.
Yes.
there are
And money, time and money, and a lot of, yes, it's tough.
obstacles,
Yep.
again, whether you want to call them obstacles or failures.
Mhm.
What would you say to people, if they try to, bring their idea to fruition and they're getting turned down, almost like a Joy Mangano? I mean, how many
Yeah.
times turned down with the miracle map? What would
Yeah.
you say?
Well, the first thing I would say is I don't really think there's no such thing as failure per se. I think that every challenge or obstacle that you confront
Mhm.
and you're able to get past it, it's a success because you've learned something, it's something that perhaps you didn't expect, or maybe you did, and you were able to get past it. So that's a success in my eyes. And you've learned something from it.
Right.
And it's, this dress is just years of development, of concepts, of ideas, of people trying, and this, changes and whatnot. And I think that's applicable to any business. So any person that's going to be starting a business, there's no straight line. It's going to meander. There's a little bit of that, going left, going right, going up, going down. And you have to expect that. So
Rome wasn't built
really,
in a day, right?
Rome was not built in a day. And I think that if you take your, any obstacles and you learn from them and you apply them to whatever business you have, your product or your service is just going to be that much better, because now you've dealt with something that you don't have to deal with anymore.
Right.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, look, I will say, let me just supplement by saying one thing. At the end of the day, a business is there to make money. So you don't, I don't want people to lose sight of the fact that there are products sometimes that will not be marketable for whatever reason, that you may think it's the best idea in the whole entire world. But there might come a point in time where, I think Kevin O'Leary on Shark Tank has said this many times, you have to take it into the barn and shoot it. I mean, it's kind of a graphic thing, but that's his quote. But, you have to be practical and realistic. You don't want to mortgage every single asset you have, or loan against it, or sell it, or whatever, in order to pursue a dream that, maybe isn't marketable, or isn't saleable, or isn't going to have the market and the sales that you thought it would have. That said, you probably won't get to that point if you've really done your preparation, and you've prepared, and you've planned, and you've researched, and you've put together your numbers, and so on and so forth.
And you know what? I think you also have to go with your gut.
Yes.
There's times where you have an idea and you're like, oh, this is a great idea, and you'll sit down and you'll think about it. And, you really have to say, hey, is this really worthy pursuing?
Yeah.
Because not everything is.
Yes, that is true. That
So
is very true.
So pleased to have you in Power Magazine. So with that being said, what does the word power mean to you?
Power to me is the ability, the energy, the motivation, the capability to do something. And oftentimes it's really, really, I think, focused on a goal. Yeah. So power to me would be all of those words and more. Okay. So any synonyms and different words that would enable a person to get from point A to point B. And it's just the ability to move forward.
Right.
So I guess really power is, if you, in the context of our discussion today, I had the power to come up with an idea, get from the drawing board literally to an actual dress, from an actual dress to a factory, and importing fabric, and fast forward, here I am right now with a successful business, with a clothing line that hopefully will grow and continue to go. So that's power to me. It's the ability to, the motivation, the ability, the energy, and all of those words to move forward and reach a goal.
Excellent. Excellent. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Oh, yes. Yes.
And Lidia, tell everyone how they can get in touch with you, how they can see your dress.
Well, in your honor, and in honor of Power Magazine, I am offering a special discount for anyone right now. If they use the code POWER10, POWER, and the number 10 at checkout, they get 10% off any purchase. And you can go to sculpturafashions.com. So that's directly to the website. Also, I believe it's in your marketplace.
Yes,
So I don't know if you want to go.
Go on to powerwoe.com and click on our marketplace, and
Yes.
you can purchase Lydia's dress. And let me just
Right.
say, ladies, this dress is quality. I'm not just saying it, but you put it on, you
Right.
feel it. This is real quality.
Made in the United States, made right in New York.
Yeah.
It's also in a couple of boutiques, but that's one of the things, you'd have to physically go there to buy it.
Mhm.
And West Hampton Beach, a Catwalk Couture, my friend Eva's going to carry it. It's going to be in Manhattan, but those are smaller places. So the best bet is go online, and it gets shipped right to you in a beautifully wrapped and packaged box with all kinds of, you feel like you're opening really something that's special, and you are.
And you are. That's true. And you know what? Let's just remind everyone,
Mhm.
if you have a dream, the dream can come true.
Yes.
The dream
Yes.
can come true if you work hard, if you're persistent,
Right.
and prepared, do your homework, everything you said, make sure it's brandable.
Yes.
You're just you're showing everybody that you are the
It can be
face.
done.
You're the face behind an excellent brand, and you were able to do it. So
Thank you so much.
God bless, and thank you for everything. And I can't wait to put my dress on again and go out to
Excellent.
dinner, or just sit behind my desk and just wear the dress. Love
There
it.
you go. There's nothing wrong with that. Thank you for having me, Tonya. Thank you so much. And I really appreciate your time, and be healthy, stay well, and I wish you all the best.
Continued success.
All right, Tonya. Thank you.
Bye,
Take care.
love.
Thank you for listening to Power Talk Radio. We hope you were inspired by our show today and look forward to our next episode featuring another empowering woman. To learn more about being part of Power, go to powerwoe.com. That's www.powerwoe.com, and follow us on social media.